that's the big difference between someone who truly is a leader and someone who is in it for themselves and wants unchecked power.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You've just been listening there to Vice President Harris speaking in Madison, Wisconsin, after Donald Trump suggested that Republican critic Liz Cheney should face a firing squad for her foreign policy stance. You heard there from Kamala Harris saying that this should be disqualifying and that Donald Trump is clearly unqualified to be president. I want to welcome back Eva McKend, our reporter who's following the developments. This was a really strong response from Kamala Harris, not only saying that he's clearly unqualified, but that this rhetoric and his desire for retribution and revenge is growing.
And Linda, we have been seeing her engage in this rapid response pretty much all week long, where essentially the former president says something or one of his surrogates says something and the campaign seizes on it right away. And the reason that they are doing this is because they believe that the behavior or the commentary that the former president is illustrating in just the last few days, that it is helping the Harris campaign with undecided voters. There are voters out there that may not agree with her on every policy issue, but just think that some of the rhetoric is a bridge too far. You know, there are Democrats in some corners, though, that say that there are going to be limits to this argument, that there already are too many Americans that know well who Trump is, and that it's sort of too late at this point to litigate this. But yet and still, the campaign clearly sees a lot of value on jumping on these comments right away. She said that this episode illustrates that he is disqualifying. She reiterated her concerns about how the former president will present this country on the international stage. She often talks about how in her background as a prosecutor that she had to be really precise with her language because she knew that every utterance could have a dramatic impact on people's lives. And so by comparison, she sees the former president in spaces where he's meandering or riffing without really thinking about the consequences of his words. She reiterated her concerns about the former president hell-bent on what she characterizes as an enemies list versus her to-do list. All of these points she is raising in the wake of this latest episode. But really, at this point, we have to see if it moves the needle at all with voters, or if voters sort of know who the former president is at this point and are making up their minds based on other factors.
And Eva, we also heard her response to Donald Trump's announcement that should he win, he'll make RFK Jr. in charge of women's health and other healthcare issues. This is, of course, a candidate that has pushed all sorts of conspiracy theories. And Kamala Harris there saying that this is the last person who should be in charge of healthcare policy. Quite a strong reaction.
It was, and she dismissed a lot of his claims as junk science. The problem, though, I think there is I used to cover the Kennedy campaign, and I would meet a lot of Biden voters at his events. And so the former president was so quick to coalesce with Kennedy supporters and bring the Make America Healthy campaign into their fold because, you know, for all of Kennedy's comments, he does have a base of support that could make a difference in battleground states when you're talking about a small margin of victory. So it doesn't come without risk at needling Kennedy, but she is expressing the concerns of many with someone who has expressed his views being in charge of healthcare or advising the president on healthcare in this country.
Eva McKend doing a great job covering the Kamala Harris campaign. Appreciate you. Thanks so much. And do stay with CNN. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.